So another way to do that last one is we made them into larger intervals where we did 30 to 49, then we did 50 to 69 and 70 to 89, and then we did our maybe 60 to 79. Anyways, we did different intervals on the other one. So a different way to do this is to make your intervals just a little bit smaller. So I classified anything in the 30s, then anything in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. So this kind of helps us to determine a little bit closer and a larger range of where the data would be versus a little bit of a condensed version of what we did before. So we have an 89, a 95, 86, 75, 90, 81, 84, 78, 68, 88, a 93, a 76, an 80, an 82, a 94, a 97, a 91, an 84, a 77, a 94, a 98, a 34, and a 55. So now we just do the same interval systems here, and then we create our bar graph. So we have 1, 1, 1, 4, 8, and 8. So I could literally just go 2, 4, 6, and 8. And then that would be the number of times that that score has appeared, or that range of scores has appeared. So the first range that we have is that 30 to 39. I'm going to try to make this as condensed as possible. I might end up squishing things over here towards the end of the video line. Okay, so 30 to 39 is just one person, so that is here. And we know exactly what that one person scored. They scored a 34. It gives them money. I don't know why there's money there. There should not be a money sign. And then we have 40 to 49, which there is nobody in the 40 to 49 range. So this is going to create kind of a gap in our data, which is okay. The next section is 50 to 59. And that's going to be 1, just like that first little category. I'm going to make my bar just a little bit smaller. Then I'm going to do 60 to 69. And that's one person as well. Then I'm going to do 70 to 79. And that is 4. So I'm going to go up to here. I try to make it as even as possible. You can do little dotted lines across just to make things a little bit even. And then our next set is 80 to 89, which is 8 people. And that is 8, so it goes all the way up to the top. And create a little bar. And then the next section is also 8, the 90 to 99, or 90 to 100. You notice that nobody made 100, right? Like the top score was a 97. Okay, so then we could say the mode of this data would be in intervals 89, 80 to 89, and 90 to 100. We would say the interval with the least amount of people is probably the 40 to 49s. There's a gap here. So if they ask where your gap is from 40 to 49, which means nobody made a score that low. And if they wanted to know percentages out of like what percentage of the people made between 90 and 100, you would do 8 out of all of these numbers. So that's 8, 16, 20, 21, 22, 23. So you would do 8 out of 23 is what percent out of 100. And then you would just cross multiply and divide and get an answer. But for this particular assignment, you don't have to do that. But in the instance they asked, that's how you would do that. If they asked what is the most likely score that a student could receive, you would say probably between 80 and 100. That's a most likely score because that's your mode of your data. So there's a lot of things that they can ask you about this. As long as you know what everything represents, you should be okay. And like I said, this is just another way to display the information from the same one that I just showed you a minute ago when the intervals were a little bit farther apart from each other. We did 30 to 49, and then we did 50 to 69, and we did 70 to 89, and then we did 90 to 109. It just made this data a little bit more condensed and combined a couple of these different bars with each other. Either way is right. It doesn't really matter. The The larger the range, it's probably easier because it gives you a more variety or a broad spectrum of what everything would be like. So that is that. Join me for the next question.